is here, even as Regina starts to teach, please, for the sake of your future, if not for anything else, take advantage of the person that is Regina-Re. Take advantage of the fact that she has experience with the branding. Take advantage of the fact that she's been a journalist, a seasoned one at that matter. Take advantage of the fact that she teaches personal etiquette and all those lessons that she teaches. Otherwise, if you don't, it's all on you. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'd like to welcome Regina-Re, or as often as nowadays she has allowed us to call his Coach Regina. Coach, how are you? Coach, can you hear us? Coach, we can't hear you. Okay, let me see if I can be able to get her. Coach, can you hear us? I think either any coach or freezer. Can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, thumbs up. Yay, Ray ameniona. Catherine Kiriro, can you see me? Can you hear me? Let me see if I can be able to. Oh, here she is. Regina, if you can hear me, I think she's. Yes, she can. Hi, Regina. Hi, I can hear you now. Regina, can you hear me? Okay. I don't think. Eva, Eve, can you hear me? Eve, Anya, thumbs up if you can hear me. Oh, thank you, Grace. Oh, okay, good. Now I can hear you, Regina. Regina, can you hear me now? Oops. I think she's
Hey,
Hey, can you hear me now? Regina, I think, yeah, your screen has not frozen. Can you hear me?
What he says
I can't hear
I'm going
me.
to try my earphones.
Can you guys hear Regina?
That
If
works.
Anya, oh, you can hear her. Oh, okay.
Phone has
can hear.
got some issues lately.
Internet, I'm telling you.
So can she soft spoken? Oh, I can be heard? I'm not hearing anyone, by the way. Although this gadget has had some issues. Yeah, you can hear me. Yes. I can't hear myself. Let me put on the earphone and see if it can help. Navigating. All right. Okay.
Can you hear us?
Hola. Yeah, imagine this gadget's whacked. You all need to put you all need to put some money together to get me a gadget that actually functions well.
Clearly.
Okay. Tuchange. Toa kitu kidogo. Tuchange. Oh my God. Every week it's something different, but now you all are loud. Can I get a hey from everyone? Could we get people on video when you're speaking this time? I want to have everyone on video when you're commenting, when you're speaking. It's okay to still post comments in the chat, but now we are elevating our image. So we want to get to see you all so that we can also critique and review what we see. So hi y'all, those 13 or 14 of you that are here. I managed. Where are the rest of you guys? Surely.
It's not an option. All of them should have their cameras on.
Yes, have your cameras on. We want to see if the lessons that we've been teaching have come to fruition, right? So I just want everybody to have your cameras on, and in order. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
And then I'm going to have Rodriguez guide this beginning process. I had requested that everybody have their homework assignment with them, and put that homework assignment with you and go ahead and prepare to read three of the descriptions that you collected over the past 2 weeks. Be prepared to read at least 3 descriptions that you had people sharing with you about your personality, your attributes, your values, etc. The descriptions that came out most, I want you guys to prepare to say hello, introduce yourself, and say, I am bold, I am bright, I am beautiful, whatever it is that you collected during your research. So we'll do that just by way of introduction as we buy time for the rest of the participants to join us. Is that okay? We got the assignment?
Very okay. That's very okay.
Super.
If all
Super.
of you got, you can put your thumbs up so that Regina can be able to see. Back to you, Regina.
Okay, so in order of, well, the listing, can I have everybody introduce themselves and give me the 3 things that describe yourself, okay?
So we can start with Ben Kibwana.
Okay.
Go alphabetically, yeah. Ben, the floor is yours.
We want to see you.
Let me prompt him as well. I just prompted him.
Okay. The 3 things that best describe you according to your assignment on personal branding. I am.
So while he's doing that, because I think he's readying.
Can we get the next person? Yes.
We can have Catherine Kiriro doing it next.
Okay, Catherine?
Yep.
Hello, everyone.
I'm not seeing you though. What's happening?
There she is. I can see her now.
Interesting. I'm not getting any images. I'm not getting any pictures.
You're not getting any pictures?
No.
Oh, let's see. Because I can see her. She's, hey, amevaa jumper ya baridi hapa, amejificha na baridi kabisa. Let me,
I don't know what needs to happen. We're all learning. I'm trying to figure out this.
Do this, yeah? Let me see if I can be able to guide you to that. Double tap your screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so what does it say? Does it say clean screen or does it say? Okay, so try and go towards your left.
Yep.
If you go towards your left, can you see guys now?
Nah. Anyway.
I try again. It's not going towards your left.
I'm in the participants. I get participants, but I don't get
You don't get
video.
the
Yeah.
video.
I've got
With the-
mute, stop video, share. I got youthful expressions, which is your page, your cover page.
Science,
Yeah, we're all learning, folks. So I'm still learning to navigate my way around this social media platform called Zoom. And
try and swipe. Try and swipe again. Because yes.
I swiped.
Yes.
Yay! 3 cheers for me. Hip, hip, hooray. I managed. I wanted to see you all looking so good. Oh my gosh. This is what I've been missing.
Can you see us now?
I do. I see somebody's photograph though. Faiza. I want to see your picture, your image.
Faiza is traveling, so she's in a matatu, so you may not be able. But Catherine
okay.
Is, look for Catherine Kiriro now. You should be able to see her.
Okay.
She's wearing a.
I can see all of you. Those of you who are here. So I appreciate you turning on your videos. And as we're upping the game in terms of our training, what's happening? Who's that?
It's Faiza. She's saying she's on the road. That's why she can't be able to turn on her microphone.
Okay. Yeah. No worries. So
sorry, you went off. Sorry. Turn on your microphone again. Let me prompt you. Sorry. Yep, there you go. We can't hear you still. Turn on your microphone.
there you go.
There you go. Yes, thank you.
So go ahead and introduce yourselves, folks. This is a participatory session. So I would like you to go ahead, just say, hello, my name is, and I am, according to the assignment that you did and what seemed to stand out the most in terms of how people described you. You have that assignment in front of you, I guess.
Yes.
So go ahead and we'll just start. I can see
Hello,
Gracie
everyone.
is ready. Yes. Go ahead, Grace.
That's Catherine Kiriro. Go ahead, Catherine.
Hello, everyone. My name is Catherine Kiriro, and I am strong-willed, I am intelligent, and I am happy and smiley. Thank you.
So let's go to Christina Dhiambo from South Sudan.
Hi, everyone. My name is Christina Dhiambo, and I have a beautiful skin. I have nice legs, and I have gifted hands. Like I can create things just from useless things. Yeah.
Quick question. May I ask? Is this how people described you the most when you had your assignment? Is that the thing that came out the most?
Yeah, most people say I have a nice. And they say that I'm very creative.
Okay. Okay,
You're
next.
hearing me?
Yeah, you're cutting in and out.
Okay, they said I'm creative, I have beautiful skin, and what else? I'm a great cook.
Okay. I'm just trying to understand, why are you not certain? I mean, you did this assignment, taken 2 weeks. It should be written somewhere. The thing that stands out the most, let's speed this up so that we're waiting for people to come, yes, but I want to see how certain you are about the things that people have shared about you. So all I just want to hear is, my name is Grace. I am bold. I am bright. I am musical. That's it. Then next, I am. That's how I want to hear it said, okay? And don't start thinking about it because you already know it's written down. You guys did this assignment, okay? So let's go. Let's go.
Claire is next. Claire, you have the floor.
Okay.
Claire Benson is all the way from Qatar. Claire, you have the floor. I'm not sure. Let me see if I can prompt you to be able to speak. You should be able to get my notification. Even as we're waiting for Claire to switch back on, if Anya, you are next, tell us about your assignment and what Regina has asked you guys to do in the assignment. If Anya, you're next.
Okay. Hi everyone.
Hello.
My name is Evelyn Hamali Anya. I am soft spoken. I am down to earth, and I'm kind. Thank you.
Very good. Very good. That's what I'm expecting. Next.
All right. So we have Fazla is still on the road. So Gracie Archie, you're next. Gracie.
Oh, okay, let's move on. Who is that? Who else?
All right. So from Gracie, we have who's next? Yamu from Nigeria. Are you still in the office? If you are, just text me. We'll be able to get to you. Joyce, you're next. As we wait for Yamu to text me. Joyce, you're next.
Hi, Grace is here.
Oh, okay, Grace. Introduce yourself then.
Hi, my name is Grace Mabonga. I'm a sanguine. I'm good at cooking, and I'm a loving and caring mother. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Next.
Precious,
Good.
you are next.
Good.
Precious.
Hi, I'm Joyce Joey. I am funny, I am creative, and I am loving.
Okay, super.
Right.
Next.
All right. Let me see. Precious, you are next.
Hi everyone, my name is Precious Omboy. I am playful, I am noisy, and I am happy.
Yay. Right.
Next.
Princess
Sam,
Ure,
thank
you are
you.
next.
Very nice.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
I'm Aurelia Sharon. I have teacher-based attitude, correcting even neighbors' kids. I am strict. I am intelligent and outgoing and lovable.
Okay, good. I'm loving it.
All right. Rhea Kimemia, you are next. Ray, where are you?
Hi guys, my name is Ray Kimenia. I am honest, I am easily irritated, I am sophisticated, and I do not entertain nonsense. Thank you.
There you go. Sarah J, you are next. All the way from Huduma Center. Sarah, you're next.
Hi, my name is Sarah J. I am a fashionista. I'm also creative and I'm strong-willed.
All right. And last but not least, Yvonne Botella.
Hello, everyone. My name is
Hello.
Yvonne Botella. I am conserved, I am loyal, and I'm jovial.
Okay. I think you mean conservative, my dear.
Oh, yeah, sorry. So.
And I'm assuming, and Rodriguez, how about, I'm throwing you under the bus right now. How about you tell us a little bit about you? How would you describe yourself in 3 words, according to how people describe you?
My name is Julius Rodrigo Maura. I am assertive, I am strong-willed, and I am loving.
Okay, assertive, strong-willed, and loving. Thank you so much, everyone, for participating. I have, how many do we have now, Rodriguez? We're just buying a little time for some people to join.
We have 15 participants so far. Iyamu is telling me he's in Nigeria. The office is currently having a virtual film festival, so he may not be able to come through. Claire is telling me she's in, Claire is still in South Sudan, Qatar, and she's not able to attend or speak. And then those are the people who have spoken to me. So yeah, we have 15, and we're still waiting for Fazla.
She's back.
We're waiting
She's
for
there.
Fazla to. Oh, she is. Okay. Fazla, introduce yourself then. Fazla David.
Hi,
Yeah,
I'm
there you
Fazla
go.
David. I'm strong. Hi, my name
Hello.
is Fazla David. I'm strong, kind, and sweet.
Okay. Super.
Hi, did you hear me?
Yes, but
Yes,
you
we
can
can
go
hear you,
ahead again.
Fazla. Sema.
My name is Fazla Mongeli David. I'm kind, I'm sweet, and I'm strong.
Okay. Super. Super, super, super. Good stuff. So you can write in the comment section how doing this exercise has made you feel. Okay? Just being able to make those declarations about yourself. I am this, I am that, I am that. And based on what it is the people in your domain have observed about you. So go ahead and write down in the comment section, this is how doing this exercise has made me feel. And I would like to hear from a few of you how the exercise has made you feel, even as you're declaring, I am fun, I don't take nonsense, I am telling everybody in the neighborhood what to do. How is that for you? How does that make you feel? Few comments.
Regina, would you like me to read them out?
Yeah, yes, just let's read a
Is
few.
that right? Yeah.
Remember, yeah.
Okay, so Joyce Ojawi is saying, a journey of discovery, some things are new to me. Catherine Kiriro is saying, it made me feel very self-aware. If Anya is saying, this exercise made me feel confident about who I am. Reiki Meme is saying, this exercise helped me know myself better. Honestly, I was a bit scared of myself. Right? With the revelation of herself, she was a bit scared of it.
Yes, super.
Yes.
And this is pretty much what we're doing. This is, as somebody rightfully said, oh, somebody said, I feel appreciated as well. Yeah, we are on a journey of self-discovery. Some of you are saying, this is how the exercise made me feel, not to undermine myself and help me appreciate myself. Some feel appreciated. Some feel a little bit more confident about themselves. And this is good. This is good because we are on the right track. And this is why I was so insistent that this homework assignment be done before we proceed to the next level. So I believe we have at least a good number that we can continue with today's session. That was a preamble to the session today. And for those of you who are joining us perhaps for the very first time and have not experienced my session, then welcome to Regina-Re Pep Talk, where we discover, refine, and transform. And coming to you for the next, let's say, 40 to 45 minutes is the frank, fiery, but fun, creative, and performing artist, Regina-Re, passionate about living life significantly, where I inspire, entertain, and encourage people to be their best selves through entertainment, through inspiration, and through enlightenment. So here we are. And over the past few weeks, we have been discussing how we can put on our A game and get the extra edge, develop the extra edge in Etiquette 101. And EDGE, as you know, is divided into an acronym, E for Etiquette Essentials. We had the D, which was Delivery and Deportment. We are going to cover in today's session greeting, grooming, and gear by way of personal branding. And there was a preamble to this lesson today, which included some of the assignment that I had you do earlier on discovering who other people believe, and discovering what other people thought about you. In the early sessions, we had you do an investigation and list as many words that you could come up with that described yourself. by way of your personality and your character, and by way of even your physical appearance and the things that you do. And you did that assignment. And as we continued in the personal discovery journey, we then had you go out and ask people in your domain similar questions. What do they think of your values? What do they think about your personality? To describe you in one word and one phrase, how would they describe you to people who don't know you? This is what we had you do. And I was insistent on this because if you don't do this exercise, it's very difficult for you to get to know how people view you. And so under personal branding, we're going to divide the personal branding into what I call the 3 Ds. So in case you have a piece of paper, you want to jot down the 3 Ds of personal branding. And the first D is define. The second D is discover. And the third D is design. And so write that down so that it will help you as a guide, even in future, when you're making reference to this session. Define, discover, and design. Super. So by way of definition, when we think about personal branding, I want you to share with me some of the myths and misconceptions, some of the things that come to your mind, and share on the comment section, and we'll read it out as we go along. I'll give you about 5 seconds to do that. What comes to mind when you think of personal branding? No comments? Remember, some of the caveats are that this is a participatory session and we must engage. It's not a lecture, so I want to hear from you, because what you have to share is just as important as what I have to share. Okay, so your ideas of some of the myths and misconceptions. Yes, somebody talks about image. Yes. And somebody says brands must have money. It's how the world sees you. Someone else says that. Somebody else talks about branding being, personal branding being influence. And someone else talks about what you do being your personal brand. And there are elements of truth in all of those. There's impact, controversy. Some of you are sharing, thank you. It's for the celebs. Yes. People talk about personal branding being something that's just for those people out there, the celebrities, the politicians, the musicians, and all that. But, and somebody also says that it's the selling point. And so there is some truth to some of your ideas of personal branding, but there are also some misconceptions about personal branding. As the name suggests, personal brand has to do with the person. And since we're all people here on this platform, you are not discounted from the idea that personal branding affects you and it has to do with you. And somebody else says that I'm going to keep sharing the comments, so keep them coming in. I appreciate that. It's for the extroverts. There's another myth. But you're a personal brand by virtue of you being a person. And so what does it really mean to be a personal brand? Here's the thing. From the day you were born, you were sending out messages about yourself, about what you liked, what you didn't like. For example, from a very early age, there could be some foods that you didn't care for, like egg or fish or the smell of the sea. When this happens, it actually starts to be a consistent thing that you do, and people start to associate you with that thing that you like or you don't like. You start to build your character and your perceptions from the way you behave, from your likes, your dislikes, the way you look. So good or bad, you are a personal brand. Whether it works for you or works against you, you're a personal brand. Whether you're affecting people's lives positively or negatively, you're a personal brand. And so that is just unpacking it. And if you want a further definition of it, you want to think about you, your personal brand, as an ID. When you pick up your ID, it has certain things that are listed on that ID about you, about who you be, and what it is that you're all about. And just by looking at that ID, somebody can tell A, B, C, D about you. And so the same goes for you as a person, is that even before you open your mouth, you're sending messages about yourself, about who you be, to the people in your circle of influence, the people in your domain. And sometimes the messages you send may not be messages that you want to send, the signals that you send. We talked about in previous sessions about the 3 V signals of communication. We talked about verbal, this is just to review, visual, and vocal. We also talked about the 10 C's plus. And one of the 10 C's plus of effective communication is congruence, is being authentic. And when you have an alignment between the 3 V signals, verbal, visual, and vocal communication, then you're in congruence. The messaging that you send out, here's another communication C, is consistent. We can expect David or Ray or, Angela or Catherine to behave a certain way and be a certain way and look a certain way anytime we come across them, and act a certain way, respond a certain way. This is what we're calling your personal brand. So indeed, your personal brand, by way of definition, is like an ID. It stimulates precise, meaningful perceptions in the eyes of others about who you are. You want to write that down if you so choose, so that you can remind yourself of what a personal brand is. A personal brand is like an ID. And these are the words of Peter Montoya, who runs, I don't know if he still runs it, but he ran an advertising agency many years ago. And he talks about personal branding in those ways. Peter Montoya, that's one of your Google names. And read up about him and what he says about personal branding. But indeed, one of the things is that personal brand is like an ID, stimulating precise, meaningful perceptions in the audience about a person. And so a personal brand is less about you and less about how you view yourself, and more about, as one of you already alluded to, more about how the audience, how the world, how the people you come into contact with, how they view you, what they think about you, what their impressions are about you. And so it begs the question, okay, the infamous words that listeners bring up when you say something to them, so what? So what? If that's what it is, that's what it is. I am who I am, and I'm not changing for the world. But here's the thing. It may be useful to consider then how a personal brand affects you. Because if you consider how a personal brand affects you, you might be more inclined to think, okay, well, I need to step up the ante and up my game in this whole thing about personal branding. And so I'd like to share with you, and perhaps you can do the same. How do you think you're affected by having a strong personal brand or a weak personal brand? Share with me right now. How are we affected? What does it mean? Okay, waiting for some comments. You can also share by video if you feel so inclined. It affects my relationships, yes. It's an ego and esteem booster, someone else says. Anyone else? How does your personal brand affect you? No more comments?
Can I give a comment?
Yes, please.
I'm sorry, I can't type because of the baby.
Okay.
I think it can either open doors or close doors.
Good one. It can open doors or close doors. Anyone else? Yvonne, what do you have to say?
Well, yeah.
Oh, you never gave it thought. Some of you all never even thought, because if go ahead.
I was thinking about it, but it's kind of okay. It's kind of hard at some point, but I think it can give you confidence and just knowing who you are, your brand. I don't know. I'm not so sure of the answer.
Yeah. Anyone else, Catherine? Somebody says it affects me positively.
Can I talk?
Please.
Okay, to me, I can say that it's affecting me positively, because initially people around me, within the surrounding, took me as a strict person, somebody who cannot relate to anybody, somebody who is always correcting, okay, a perfectionist. But from the time I took that survey and they participated, most of them are now looking at me as somebody who can actually initiate anything, and they relate to me positively, and I'm really happy about that.
Okay. But you do realize that even before you did this test, this survey, people were viewing you in a certain way anyway. And that's what I want to bring you to your awareness, that we are reviewing, we are doing our own internal audit about the people in our domain anyway. You've made your judgment and your perceptions about me, and vice versa. I have about you. And so all I'm trying to bring to your awareness is your personal brand affects you positively or negatively. And what we want to get you to a place to appreciate is that you want to do as much as you possibly can to have your personal brand affect you in ways that you want it to affect you, and not in ways you don't want it to affect you. Does this make sense to everyone? You can do a thumbs up or a nod. Let me know that you're still with me. Yeah. Yes, exactly. So by way of definition, your personal brand is your personal ID. It sends precise, meaningful messaging about who you are as a person. Your values, your attributes, likes, dislikes, abilities, skills, etc. Okay? And some of the ways your personal brand affects you, aside from some of the things that you've already shared, your personal brand is important because it will affect, for example, how your subordinates will respond to you. Subordinates, perhaps you might be in a managerial position at work, and you want people to listen to what you're saying and do what you ask, or you're a supervisor, or you're the CEO of your own company. How your subordinates, those who come beneath you, respond to you will be based on your personal brand. Your personal brand will affect the type of income that you're able to generate or negotiate for yourself for a particular gig. For example, you're all training to be vocalists and musicians. One person is going to get one type of pay package, and the other person will get a different type of pay package. And you might ask yourself, well, why does that person get this much more than I do? It could have everything to do with how you put yourself out there. Your personal brand will affect that. Your personal brand will affect whether somebody will pick you for a particular job as opposed to someone else for that same job, even if your skills are a little bit higher and elevated than this person. Your personal brand will affect what people say about you when you're not in the room. What are they saying about you? Do you know? Well, now you do, because they've responded to you. And so it behooves us, for so many reasons and more, to work at creating an image, a brand image of ourselves that we want to create, and not one that we don't mean to create. And we go back to those 3 V signals of communication: your visual, your verbal, and your vocal communication. What messaging are you sending out there verbally? When you're writing, when you're speaking to someone, how are you speaking? How are you singing? What are the words that you're saying or singing in the music that you choose? How do you come across in social media, on the social media platforms? How do you behave? All of these are going to affect how people perceive you. And you may not think that it means anything, but now that we are online almost 24/7, doing a variety of different things, and on all these social media platforms, you need to start to be more deliberate about what kind of pictures you're posting, what kind of videos you're posting, how you come across. And this is why I also wanted to see you on screen today, is because as long as you are being panned out to the World Wide Web, there must be some sense of deliberation on how you want us to view you. There must be some thought in that, because it's part of the visual of non-verbal communication. Every time someone sees you, you are being judged, whether it's for a job, a friendship, or a life partner. Your image sends loud and clear messages, even when you are silent, even as you're sitting there listening to this session. What comes across on screen is giving me messaging about what you deem important, the things that you value, the things that you don't value. All of these are crucial to how you'll come across in the long run. And certainly, if the session is being recorded, you can be sure that if you're not deliberate about the picture on the screen, and absolutely certain that how, for example, I have come across is what I mean to be panned out to the universe, then you want to check that. You want to rethink, how has my image been portrayed out there in the World Wide Web? Is it messaging you want to be sent or not? What message is your image sending? And so as we move from the definition of personal brand to the discovery, you have already done the work over the past 2 weeks, albeit 2 weeks, it should have been a couple of days. You took a minute to do that work, but I wanted you to do the assignment before we met so that at least you are ahead of the game. And I appreciate you all for going out there and doing this research, because I knew it would take some time. But by way of discovery of your personal brand, you have already done your self-assessment test for yourselves, just kind of writing down how you perceive yourself. And then the next phase of that assignment was to get, in one word or one phrase, how people view you, from your talents and skills to your values and morals and beliefs, to your personality and characteristics. And all of them could be interspersed. I mean, they overlap. And I also asked you to ask them, how would you describe me to somebody who has not seen me? Because this then is what we are talking about when we talk about personal branding. And I want you to share with me, how many of you were a little bit surprised at what people had to say when you received your feedback? I want to hear from you. What did some people say? You can just look at the list that you have there. What did some people say that you're like, oh my God, you mean that you're a gossip? Yes, thank you for being frank. And I hope you didn't catch feelings when they told you that you're a mess. And you guys have some good friends or people in your domain, because when you ask people questions about you, you don't only want to hear all the positive things, because there's nothing you can do about positive things except continue doing them. But when you hear things that can be worked upon, that's even better, because then you can see, are you sending messaging to people about being a mess and a gossip more times than positive messages? And we'll talk about what you can do about that later. But some of you shared that you have a sense of humor. Did that surprise you? Keep sharing. What did people in your domain, that you're noisy, what did they say about you that surprised you? The things that don't surprise you, you can keep those out. I want to hear what you had said about you that surprises you. that you're a chatterbox. Yes, that you keep grudges, that you're impatient. Yes, yes, I like that, that you're impatient. I used to be told I lack sensitivity. And I therefore, as a result, I'll tell you what I did about that. And you remind me, I lack sensitivity, and sometimes I just say what comes to
Regina,
my head.
somebody said I was a meathead.
That you are what?
Someone said I'm mean. I'm
That you're
very
mean.
Yes.
That you're insensitive. Now, of these things that people are sharing about you, this is where you want to look at it as a red flag. If someone says you're mean, or someone says you're insensitive, and it's a comment that just comes out once, it's neither here nor there. That person could have been having a bad day. But here's where you want to take note. When you hear the same thing repeated more than once and by more than one person, then you have to start thinking, okay, there's something here. How many comments have you heard that were repeated more than once, whether positive or negative? Let me hear about those. Let me hear those. That you're too humble, which means you're a pushover. You let people run all over you. Code word for being humble. Yeah. What else? What else? What are the descriptions of you? Like Rodriguez, did you hear that you're mean more than once, or you just heard it once?
Yeah, actually, I've been told it a couple of times. Some people have tried to dress it nicely, others have been straightforward about it. So yeah.
Okay, some people try to be diplomatic. That's okay. Some
Yes.
people are trying to diplomacy when they speak to you, but when you're asking for open feedback, expect anything. Somebody says that you're too aggressive. Yes, and that doesn't all go well with them. Yes, so this is how you're coming across. Now I want to great chef, God-fearing, sensitive. Okay, now I want to ask another question, a little bit more to the heart. Because when we do our exercises, there are 3 areas that I like us to focus on. The thing that happened, the action, or what is going on. The thoughts behind what is going on, behind the action, and the feelings. Those 3 areas are areas that I like to focus on when we have our sessions and when we discuss. And when you do your journaling, and it's my hope that you journal, and if you haven't journaled, never journaled before, that you start today. A journal is just an account of your day or your week. What have you been doing during the day? How did it affect you? And when you journal, which is different from a diary where you're just writing down what you have to do that day, that week, that month. When you journal, it is almost like a report card that you're doing for yourself and highlighting the things that stood out and how you felt about it and what you thought about it. So start journaling today by way of assignment. Get a completely different notebook, which you keep under lock and key. This is not for something that you leave for other people to read. And this is a place where you can start to just articulate your thoughts and things that happen to you in your life during your day. It doesn't have to be long. It can be 1 paragraph or 1 page. And so by way of feedback, when people gave you these suggestions about yourself or reviews, how did receiving this information make you feel? How did receiving feedback about yourself make you feel? Share with me. By virtue of the fact that we don't have responses, quick responses, this is telling for me. It tells me that, I asked him that I'm bad. You felt on the spotlight? Okay. It tells me that we rarely think about our feelings. This is not something we've been conditioned or socialized to do, to think about our emotions and our feelings. And yet our emotions and feelings are what informs a lot of our behavior and responses to other things. Somebody shares that it made me feel vulnerable. They take time to learn about me. Yes, it made you feel anxious. Yeah, those are good descriptive words. It's important to be true to ourselves and unlock the thoughts that we have when we have them, and also the feelings attached to those thoughts when things happen. And when we do that, we become more empowered. We become more empowered. I see somebody says it felt unnerving. Some people said it made me feel strong. So continue doing this assessment with others and yourself, and correlate as much information about yourself as you possibly can. It feels like I'm a source of influence. That's what somebody else says. And it's important to, when you are able to get at least 3 to 6 descriptions of yourself that are in the positive, then you can start to use this to build. Now, the exercise that I had you do when we started this session was to declare, I am this, I am that, I am that. Many of you described yourself, and I was reading your assignments, and you were described as a variety of different things. And so in the discovery part of the personal branding session and segment, you score top marks for having accomplished that assignment. But then it begs the question, so what? What do you do with this information now that you have it? And I have a question to ask you. Over the period of weeks that we've been journeying together, I've had you build upon this speech about yourself, which is your introduction. We later tagged it as an elevator pitch. And you had grown in leaps and bounds from when you started introducing yourselves to where we are now, where you're able to be concise, another communication C, speak within 60 seconds, where you're able to have, for example, a call to action, another communication C, inviting people to your space, your domain, where you're able to talk about some of the things that you do in that 60 seconds. But very few of you, if I recall, very few, maybe a very small percentage of you spoke about those attributes that you shared during this session. All those amazing attributes about your values, about your beliefs, about your passions, about your skills. I didn't hear them in your introductions. And so it begs this question. You're preparing yourselves to be musicians and vocalists for the most part. But have you considered who you would be without being able to sing? Would you be the same person? Would you still have values and beliefs? Who would you be if you were not running a music school or a worship leader in a church? Think about that for a minute. Who would I be? Who would I be if I was not training you or on stage in a theatrical production or a film? Would I be the same person? Who would you be? In other words, what ought to come out strongly in your introductions, in that speech that you deliver about yourself, is who you are at a core, minus all the things that you do and all the things that you are to others, your relationships. I'm a mother, I'm a preacher, I'm a singer, I'm a dancer, I'm a writer. Those things are great, but we are building upon what we already have. And to give your introduction a boost and a little bit more meat, we want to hear who you are at the core, because we are all people who engage on what we call a level where we look at the heart sometimes, you know, and when we are able to tap from you a little bit of your personality, a little bit of your skills alongside your values, then you're giving me something to hold on to. And so I want you to inject into the next draft of your elevator pitch those elements that come out strongly, the positive elements, the affirming elements, and affirming descriptions of yourself that people in your domain have already pointed out, but you, by way of your self-affirmation, and when you're talking to an audience that perhaps may not know you, you want to be able to say right off the bat who you are. Do you know who you are? Thumbs up. We're getting there. I'm sure we're all familiar with people who sometimes may come on. Well, Princess J.RODRIGUEZ, have I said that name right? Says, yes, she knows who she is. How come I didn't hear it in your elevator pitch? I needed to hear it. You heard me introduce myself, didn't you? And never fear introducing yourself as many times as you possibly can. Every time you switch on that mic to speak, say, this is Yvonne here, coming to you once again, and I have a question. Let us know who you are. Don't make assumptions. Each and every time I come onto this platform, you hear me introducing myself as if I'm meeting you for the very first time. This is how it ought to be. You don't know who is going to be listening to you at that particular moment when they switch on their mic or switch on their screen and they see you talking. Yes, we can see your names written at the strapline, but by way of affirmation and bringing yourself out strong and confidently, always say, I am Catherine, I am Ben, I am Ray. And here's my question. And this is what I have to say. And introduce yourself sometimes if it calls for it. Before this class, I started doubting who I am. Okay, you know, somebody said that before this class, I'll keep on reading your comments, so keep on bringing them in. I'll just interject because that's part of the participation and I appreciate that. Somebody said in the comments that before this class, I didn't know who I was, and I completely accept that. And that's why I'm so passionate about getting into the heart and the mind of you all. It's more than just standing on a stage to perform. When you're standing on a stage to perform, who are you performing as? Who is that person at the core? Now, in other sessions, we won't do it in this journey of ours, but in sessions to come, we can talk about putting on your alter ego and being that person that you want people to see you as for that moment in time. That's part of the art of performance. I have played many characters in my life, and that's a whole topic for another day. But for purposes of our journey together, who are you? And it's not overzealous or aggressive or being too proud to say that I know who I am. We are a chosen generation, we then call forth to show his excellence in me. All I desire
She disappeared.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think she did. Could be an issue with her network, but that goes to show you. Let me see if I can get her back again, but I hope you guys are following. Let me see if I can get her back again. In the meantime, discuss amongst yourselves. Discuss amongst yourselves. Make this class active. Let me go get her.
I am unforgettable.
Kristen.
Yes.
Because you are the first one to speak, I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you to describe me. Christine.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I'm going to ask you to describe me in 3 words.
In 3 words.
Yeah.
You are intelligent. You can hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
You are intelligent. You are responsible. And you are very humble.
Thank you, Christine.
You are back. Thank you very much. These guys are practicing before you.
I love it. And you don't have to say very. You just say you're humble. You're intelligent. You're this, you're this, you're this, you're this, you're that. I'm loving it. Can I hear a couple more? Let me hear a couple more. How would you guys describe Rodriguez? Let me hear that. Let him feel
Rodrigo
good or bad.
has a nice voice.
He's confident, he's knowledgeable and
He's
talented.
straight to the point.
Tell it to him. You are knowledgeable. You're confident. You're smart. Go on. Next. Let's also
Rodrigo,
be
you're very resourceful. You're very warming. I came to realize that after we spoke.
Remove the word very. By saying resourceful, it's already very. So it's a redundant statement to say very in this case. And I just want you to start to learn to give critiques, whether it is positive or not positive, negative. So go ahead. Yes, I'm seeing intelligent. Let him feel good. Let Rodriguez is straight to the point. Talk to him. Rodriguez, you are straight to the point. Yes?
Rodrigo, you are funny, trustworthy, and blunt.
Yes. You're visionary.
Rodriguez, you are ambitious, you're tough, and you're firm.
Good, good.
So, Rodriguez, you sound like a disciplinarian in a way. You're very tough.
I like it. And I'm appreciating the fact that you all are putting on your mics and you're allowing us to see you. It's very positive and it's very affirming. Okay, Rodriguez, so how is this all making you feel? Let's talk about your feelings now. How is hearing people talk about you making you feel?
It's nice. It's actually good, but I'm also surprised.
Yes. It normally happens, right?
Yeah, I'm surprised because most of them, whenever they hear I'm in a lesson, they're like, "Oh gosh, Rodrigo,
yes.
Oh gosh."
And you know, that's okay. It truly is okay. People will feel the way they feel about you, but what is the end result of their encounter with you? And this is what I want you all to come to the place of when you're thinking about your image and your personal brand. And write this question down and ask yourself this hard question. How do I want to leave people feeling after an engagement with me or an encounter with me? How do I want to leave people feeling after an encounter with me? And you can answer that question in one word or one phrase. Got it? How do I, and this is your homework assignment, and you all are not going to take 2 weeks to do this assignment. You're going to just post it after this session, right? I would like to leave people feeling, and use 3 words or 3 phrases. Empowered, uplifted, happy. That could be that, as simple as that, okay? How do I want to leave people feeling? And the reason for doing this assignment is so that you can start to really be more deliberate about how you put your messaging out there. And the way you leave people feeling has to do with those 3 V signals: verbal, visual, and vocal. So what message is your image sending each and every time you encounter people? Right now, I'm encountering you, you're encountering me. And by way of review and practice, I want you to send 3 descriptions of how you are left feeling, even as you're participating in this session right now, as we employ the 3 V signals: the visual, the vocal, and the verbal. As you describe how you're left feeling in this session, my engagement with you right now, and I'm not going to catch feelings, so say whatever it is you got to say, okay? I ain't going to catch no feelings. So you can write it down, and some of you can share via the video. Are you all thinking?
Yes, this is Catherine here.
Yes, Catherine.
After an engagement with you, I'm left feeling thought-provoked, encouraged, and wanting to know more, curious.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next. I feel challenged to do better. That's Eva. Anyone else? I want to see you speaking. I want to hear your voice as well, because we're learning to present ourselves, and you want to also see yourself coming across on the screen and see whether what is coming back at you is something that you want people to take in from you when you're on this chat, on this platform. So share, please. How are you left feeling?
Hi.
I've been left.
Sorry.
After an encounter with you, we'll make full sentences. After an encounter with you, I am left feeling ABC. Go on.
After an encounter with you,
who are you? Who are you? Hey, who are you? I just talked about introducing yourselves, especially if you're speaking for the first time. I know habits are hard to break. And so we are going to help break those habits and include new, fresh habits. Always introduce yourself before you start speaking.
I am Muchezia Mutweko, and after an encounter with you, I am left feeling energized, I am left feeling thoughtful, and I am left feeling challenged to be better.
Okay, next. Let's go.
Hi, my name is Grace. After an encounter with you, I've been left feeling psyched up, rejuvenated, and ready to explore the world.
Okay, super. Next. David. I'm gonna call you out now. Okay, Eva is on.
This is Anya. After an encounter with you, I feel like I can also do it. If she did it, I can do it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Next.
Hello.
Yes, that's Yvonne.
Yes, my name is Yvonne. After an encounter with you, I felt like I want to do much better in terms of how I present myself before people and how people view me.
Okay, super. So you're getting an idea. Rodriguez, after an encounter with me, how are you left feeling? Has Rodriguez left the building? Okay, anyone else?
Hello.
Hello?
This is Princess.
Hi, Princess.
Okay, thank you.
After an encounter with you, I have been left feeling educated, knowledgeable, happy, and so humbled that I'm being mentored by you.
Okay, and where's your video, Princess?
I'm charging.
Okay, super.
Yes.
You're excused. Grace, I don't see your video. It's gone. Super. Sarah J, talk to us.
Hi, my name is Sarah J. After my encounter with you, I feel there is hope for me to become a better performer, a better worshiper, and a better me.
Good. I just want to bring this to your attention because it's happened a couple of times and it could have happened by default. It's a communication technique in how to better engage your audience and how to be memorable. And I've noticed that during your elevator pitches, a few of you have used this technique and it might have been, as I said, not deliberate. And this is a technique that some of you are using now, even as you're speaking. And it's a technique of the rule of 3. And if you want better engagement, if you want to be memorable, and you also want to stay on track with your thoughts, you want to use what we call the rule of 3. And the rule of 3 really just suggests that we are, as human beings, we think of things in 3s. Tic-tac-toe, fun, fierce, fabulous, the good, the bad, the ugly, to inspire, entertain, and elevate. All those things are when you say things in groups, in packaging, in lines of 3 words, 3 phrases, there is a likelihood that they will be remembered better than when you speak in 2 words or 4 words or run over a whole list of things. For example, if you're doing a PowerPoint presentation, and in the case of Zoom, if you're doing a Zoom presentation, you don't want to run off 14 points on one slide. You want to put 3 key points. And then if you have something more to say about it, you will highlight those points. So by way of an assignment, I want you, as you are discussing yourself in your redraft and re-edit of your elevator pitch, I want you to employ that technique of the rule of 3 as many times as you can. And even as you're speaking, I've heard you all use it a couple of times, but sometimes I think you're not aware that you're using it. It's actually an effective communication technique for speaking, but also for writing and creating, okay? Does everyone understand that assignment? By a thumbs up, let me see if everyone understands the assignment. I'm not seeing any thumbs up. Are we not understanding? Okay, who didn't understand the assignment? Hands up. Okay, I will repeat. Say that again.
Grace says she didn't understand.
Okay, I see Grace says she doesn't understand. Okay, let me repeat. When we speak in 3s, 3 words, 3 phrases, 3 ideas. Did you hear that? I've grouped that thought into 1. 3 words, 3 phrases, 3 ideas. It's easier for the listener to remember 3s than if we just say 1 statement. So when you introduce yourselves and you're writing your pitch, I want you to write your pitch using as many 3s as possible. Standing or coming to you on this Zoom chat is the fun, fierce, and fabulous. Did you hear those 3 words? Is the creative performing artist who has a mission to elevate, to esteem, to empower. Did you hear those 3 words? To elevate, to esteem, to empower. And after an encounter with the participants of the AOV Season 3, I feel confident, I feel assured, I feel empowered that they will go out into the world and become amazing vocalists and performers. Did you hear how many times I used the rule of 3 in that statement? This is what I mean, and this is how I want you to introduce yourself. Did you get it now, Yvonne and Sarah? Super. So this is what I'm expecting. You see, we're upping the ante. We're upping the ante. And Rodriguez, I want you to tell me how much time I have left so that I don't go over the time and I allow people to go back to work if they need to. But we're wrapping it up. We've discussed the define, we've discussed the discover, and now we just want to talk a little bit about the design part of personal branding. And we've alluded to it as we've gone along. The designing of your personal brand has to do with how you package yourself. How do you speak? We're talking about greeting in this G of extra edge. Always introduce yourself when you're speaking, when you're about to speak. If you have an opportunity to say a few words about yourself, this is part of effective greeting. How have you come out? How have you presented yourself when you encounter people? We are all in your domain. And so as long as we can see you and hear you, then you are part of us and you are influencing us somehow. How have you groomed yourself to be here? Remember what I said about your image. It tells the people in your life, we are in your life right now by virtue of us panning out to each other. So we are in your life. And an effective brand image, well, even if it's not effective, it tells people in your life how you value them and yourself. Have you valued me? Have you valued the session? Have you valued the integrity of this Africa Online Vocalists platform where you are learning and growing? Have you valued it by taking time to come out in your best form, in rare form, in high gear, in rare form actually, high gear? Have you done that? If you haven't been deliberate about how you've presented yourself even today, and you've just shown up, as I say in Kenyanese, anyhowly, then these are some of the things you need to check because they are being marked against or for your personal brand. And your personal brand, as we've already defined, is other people's perceptions of you. What message is your image sending? What is your packaging like? How have you groomed yourself? How have you groomed your set? Are there distractions? Are you focused on the business at hand? Would you be proud to carry your image right now and lift it up and take it to a platform where you can be a positive influence to others? Could you take it to State House or to a place where you're vying for a job or you want to impress on young people, whatever it is? Those are the things you want to start asking yourself, because a true and sincere personal brand and effective means it works for you. That's what effective means. And it works for others. A true and effective personal brand is deliberate, which means you have to put effort into coming to this platform, even if you're just listening or just learning. There's no point in learning about 3 V's of communication, effective communication, and learning about 55% of the signals you send are nonverbal, and then you don't take time to work on the nonverbal, which is your grooming, which is your set. How have you shown up? How have you shown up? Deliberate, consistent, sincere. Those are the 3 elements of an effective personal brand. Deliberate, put effort. Consistent, a C of effective communication, that checklist. Something that you do over and over and over again so that it becomes a part of who you be. So that even when you're not in the room, someone will say, oh my goodness, Catherine, she's like that. You can depend on her for A, B, C, D. They'll say something about Precious. when she's not around? How are people speaking about you when you're not in the room? You've already seen some elements of it. But to be effective, it had to be consistent. And you want it to be deliberate because you want to send more messages out that you
Sorry, guys. Looked like she froze again. Yvonne, you can hear me? Thumbs up. Right. Sorry, I think she froze again. Back. Should be back. There she is. Regina, can you hear us now? Regina, if you can hear us. All right. I think she's restarting again, but she only has a few minutes left so that she can conclude the class for today. I hope that most of you are learning, if not all of you. I hope that most of you are learning. I hope you're taking this seriously. Yeah, because like I said, yeah. And of course, thank you, Sarah. My God, we can see you're still at work, but thank you. And of course, all of you who are working, I know Faz like working. Regina is back. Regina, hi. We should be able to see you now. There you go. Regina, you can hear us?
Yep. So how are we doing?
You have 5 minutes remaining.
5 minutes. Okay, let's see what we can do with 5 minutes. So in the design part, the good news, folks, the good news is that when it comes to designing a personal brand, we have been doing it without thought, many of us. We've not been deliberate. And so I want you to reframe your thoughts about how you greet people, how you groom yourself, how you put on your apparel and what you wear, how you dress your set, how you come out. Can we see you visibly? Can you see my facial expression? Do I have a distracting background or disruptive things happening on the scene? This is part of how I come out. We want to be very deliberate about our branding. And this is where the redesign, the repurpose, the restructure of our personal brand comes in. That if we didn't like some of the comments that were being given to us when we sent out our survey to those in our domain, we can do something about fixing and repackaging ourselves. And make no mistake, packaging is important. It is a mute persuader. As you can see by this beautiful bottle. Yes, it's a bottle. It's actually a perfume bottle that is designed and packaged as a stiletto heel. Isn't that gorgeous? Before I even get a whiff, and there's the whiff, smells great. It's called Good Girl. Before I get a whiff of this beautiful scented perfume, I am already drawn to the packaging. I'm drawn to this stiletto heel. And this is what makes me attracted to it. This is what makes me say, hey, this looks like something that I would like to smell. So what are you saying about yourself even before we've gotten a whiff of you, no pun intended, or before we've gotten to hear your voice? How have you packaged yourself? You must be deliberate. I'm sure that a number of people, this is Carolina Herrera that puts this out. It's called Good Girl. I'm sure that her people sat around for hours and hours thinking of the concept of this perfume, Good Girl, and how they wanted to package it. And then not only how they wanted to package it visually by this stiletto heel, but what they wanted to call it. And they decided, Good Girl, which really begs the question, the wearer of this perfume, are they really good or they're bad? And they allude to their badness in the tagline. It's so good to be bad. Pray tell, what's your tagline? How do you want people to know you? One word or one phrase that describes you best, encapsulates who you be, just like Carolina Herrera's good girl. Do you know who you are? And with that, I end my presentation. I will take a few questions and or comments about today's session. For those of you who joined us a little bit later into the session, we have just covered the greeting, grooming, gear elements of personal branding, which was the umbrella. And the bigger umbrella of the session was how to develop the extra edge in Etiquette 101. And with that, I would like to take in some of your questions and see if there is something I can answer, one or two questions before we conclude, or comments.
Regina, these guys are lucky. What I wanted to do is, Nivile tu Meguza, I wanted to ask them if they had observed anything within the environment that was unique. Because I can tell you, 90% of these guys didn't even notice that stiletto. They didn't even...
How many didn't notice? You can sell yourself. How many of you did not notice my backdrop?
I actually did notice it. I was too honest.
Somebody saw the Africa. Yes, very deliberate, very deliberate. And we talked about this in the last session. That make no mistake, everything you see on screen is not by happenstance. It takes me a good long while, as simple as my background is, to work on my costume, my background, my hair, my makeup, so that I can come out. I noticed it a long time. It's my favorite perfume. Yes, that's Christine. And did you wonder what the heck is she doing with a perfume bottle up there? How many of you didn't notice? I want to know how many of you didn't notice. Put your hand up. Come on now. You noticed the color scheme. Somebody noticed the color scheme. Yes. And part of the reason I had you turn on your videos, somebody did not notice. Ray didn't notice the perfume. One of the reasons I had you turn on your videos is because I want to see if you've been practicing what we've been discussing. There's no point in having lessons if you don't put the lessons to work for you. It's no point in learning that 55% of the messaging you're sending is visual. And the number one, you don't have your mic on. Number two, when it's on, you haven't been deliberate about showing up the way you show up. And I can tell that some of you have taken some effort, yes. But you know, a good portion of you, there's no deliberation there. And a good and effective personal brand is deliberate, consistent, and sincere.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And one of the reasons why I wanted to ask them that, in fact, I wanted to even give a whole, I was thinking 2 GB to the next, to the person who would notice most of the things that were there. But luckily, most of them have noticed. Is also if you are careful enough to notice what is on Regina's background, then you would also be very deliberate, of course, of what you put on your background as well. Because when you start to notice, oh, so there she put this and there she put that, the Africa is so pronounced, and even the way she's dressed, you'd notice it's matching up with the color of the chair, it's matching up with the color on the Africa placard that is there, and somewhat the pillows are complementing the color that she's wearing. So if you notice, even her necklace, it's deliberate. Even the patterns on her top, they're very, very, very deliberate with what is going on. So why I wanted you to notice is also part of the reason why a creative is considered a creative is the ability to be able to see what is someone else doing that I could make better and more creative, right? And I think, yeah.
Definitely. And I have to say, and truly everything that you're saying is correct. And you might think that the tough side of me is coming out when I respond to this one comment. I'm at work, I can't do anything about my backdrop. That's a cop-out. That's a cop-out right there. That's a cop-out to me, because your background is your background. I didn't say make it fancy. You could be in front of a white wall. You could be in front of a stream of books. I see somebody there in front of a Huduma poster. You know, it sends messaging to its audience about who this person is, where they are, what they do for work. There's nothing wrong with that. And she's at work. Come on, guys. It's a cop-out. I'm at work. I'm at this. I'm at that. Even if you're in a car, have you dressed the set so that you don't have bright lights shining from the back of you in that vehicle? Even if you are at a sign.
Your mic is off, Regina.
Zoom is muting me. Hey, I got more to say. So my point is that being deliberate doesn't mean you have to be at home. You may not always be in a controlled environment, but you can control how you come across. You can make the choice. I'm not saying be fancy. I'm just saying be deliberate. Okay? And I hope the distinction is clear when it comes to that. Don't cop out.
Right.
If you have distracting things in the background, I mean, is that the message you want to send?
Right.
You know, we've seen that even today. And the point is that for this 1 hour, 1.5 hours, you can make a choice. If you're going to be here, then be here. Be present. Don't be elsewhere. I'm not elsewhere. Imagine if I'm like, well, somebody's coming in through the door and I'm looking at people walking out. Yeah. I'm checking to see what's happening in the kitchen. I mean, surely. So if I'm present, what makes you think that you shouldn't also value the session enough to be present when I'm presenting and when others are presenting for you? You see, it's just being considerate. Another C of effective communication, consideration. Doing your assignment in good time, consideration. Dressing your set and taking the lessons to heart. Taking the lessons to heart, consideration. Okay? So once again, I appreciate how far you've come, but the road is long with many a winding turn. It leads to God knows where. But I want to add this last thing before we conclude. And again, the session is not long enough to talk about mission, vision, and values. But this is part of what I want you to do in constructing your elevator pitch. Part of designing your elevator pitch and part of designing your personal brand is having clarity on what your personal mission is, what your personal, some people call it life purpose is, what your vision is for yourself. We see vision pasted up in a lot of offices. The minute you walk in, you see a mission and vision statement whose foundation rests on values. Now, the homework is already partly done. Kudos to you, because you already have an idea of what people think your values are. You can add to that by where you see yourself by way of your values, your morals, and use that as a backdrop for designing and writing out and crafting your personal vision and mission statement. They can be together or they can be separate. Now, what is a vision in a nutshell? It is a perception of your preferred future, a perceived and inspiring perception of your future. You see your future is out there, it looks great, and that is the vision you have for yourself. Your mission is the how-to, how you're going to accomplish this task. What it is your life purpose. What are the gifting? We all have gifts. What is it? Are you using the gifts you have as part of who you be and how you travel through this earth? So this exercise is not going to be easy, but I want you to start it, and it's not going to finish up in a week. I'll tell you right there. But what I want you to start to do is to think about where you see yourself in 2 years, in 5 years, in 10 years. Close your eyes, breathe deep, have a picture in your mind of where you see yourself in 2 years' time, in 5 years' time, and in 10 years' time. And it should look good. That is an inspired view of your perceived future. I want you to write that down as part of your assignment. And wrapped around that, you want to start crafting the how you're going to accomplish this. And this is part of being deliberate about designing your personal brand. And you want to do this, whether it's socially, academically, recreationally, family-wise, whatever, all these different segments of your life. Where do you see yourself? Okay? And when you're deliberate, just like Carolina Herrera, good girl, you get a lot further, faster.
All right. And with that being said, what I usually tell my students is, as much as you're bringing your hardware, and your hardware is there, which is your body, bring your software as well, which is your mind, so that you're also present. And with that being said, I know Sarah had raised up her hand. Sarah, do you have a question?
Yeah, I wanted
Sarah
her.
J, do
Yeah,
you have
my
a
name is,
question?
yes.
Yeah. We can hear you. Sarah?
I was saying,
Yep.
I wanted, if it's possible, she explained to us few mistakes that people make in terms of grooming.
Okay. Regina? I think the
Okay.
mistake that people make when it comes to grooming.
I will take you to that communication C of context. Where are you? What are you doing? Who are you speaking to? Who is your audience? And what are you doing? When you're talking about basic grooming, we can talk about the basics which have to do with at least showering or bathing or washing or cleaning up. Not everybody has the privilege of sitting in a bathtub or having a shower come down on them. I appreciate that. But wiping up, cleaning the essential areas is part of grooming. And making sure you're not producing a nasty smell of sweat. That's at the very basic level. Washing and cleaning your hair so that you don't have dandruff or a weave or a wig that has been on your head and starts to look like it's about to grow something. You know, you have a weave or wig, comb it. There's no excuse. Now that you have it, you don't do anything with it. Comb it, groom it, make it look good. That's some of it. Under your fingernails, remove the dirt. If you're going to have nail polish, make sure it's not chipped. Guys, I'm not clear on why you prefer to wear your pants drop down halfway so your butt crack shows. But, you know, part of your grooming is to pull up that pants to where it's supposed to be and cover that butt crack. It's not attractive. It's not cool. It's just nasty. Okay? Guys especially need to polish your shoes. The mark of a well-groomed man is making sure their shoes are clean and spanky, whether it's sneakers, whether it's dress shoes. Even if you're walking a mile, we should not see that you've been walking a mile in those shoes. Put a pair in your bag that when you get to where you're going, you put on that brand spanking pair of clean shoes so that even if you're wearing a super suit and we look down to your shoes, we see you walked, hey, kuna mumbi, you've sold yourself. Then we'll know for sure you borrowed the suit. Guys, when you are wearing a suit, let it not look like you have borrowed it from your older brother. When you stretch your hand, or your younger brother, when you stretch your hand, the cuff of the suit should come about there. It shouldn't be there and it shouldn't be too long. Okay, ladies, sometimes we wear too much makeup. What is it? Where are you? If you're on stage, in theater, where the lights shine on you and wash you out, then you can wear heavier makeup than when you're going out during the day to a desk job or the office, or meeting people and having a social encounter, because the sun shows up, daylight shows up your makeup even more. Nighttime, we wear heavier makeup because of the dark, and we're in dark places. So we want to enunciate and bring out our makeup more. That's the reason we do it, or when we are on stage. But there's no reason to draw up your face as if you're in performance mode 24/7. And I'm sure the guys will appreciate this. It's sometimes we don't know who's behind all that. And I appreciate the assignment that you did, posting your before and after. The before is just how you be. Then you put some work into it, and then you're like, okay, I'm looking like I'm ready to step out. So depending on the context, which is what I was getting to, where are you? Are you at home? Are you meeting friends and family? Are you performing on a stage? Do you need to be more dramatic? Do you need to be less dramatic? Those are the things you want to ask yourself when it comes to grooming.
All right.
I would also like to add, if I may.
Yes.
And maybe you're not going to ask this, but because you have your videos on, I want to give you a few tips to improve your next videos or your next Zoom chats. One of the things you want to be aware of is the light. Are you facing the light? You need to have the light bring out your features. If you have the light behind you, the only thing that's being illuminated is the back of your head. If you have bright lights in the side and the corner, it's distracting. And I'm going to call out some of you just so that you know what I'm talking about. Yvonne is one of them. There's a distracting light right behind you, and it takes away from your face. Ray is another, a light that is shining right there in the back. If you want to shield that light with a curtain, or move your camera to an angle where we are not getting distracting light. I see Precious there, and Precious, that light, although it's very small, it can be distracting, the one that's right behind you. So we want, number one, if you can see your facial expressions well, then we can see you. And part of the aim of the game is to make sure you can be seen. I appreciate, is it Muthea? You're right up close to the camera. I can see your expressions. You have just a nice background with some design on there, and that works, okay? Eva, you got a simple background, but I feel like more of the background is filling the frame than your face. So you want to bring yourself closer to the screen so that we can see more of you, at least from the bust up. Then the frame is not so full of a very bright background. There you go. Pfizer David is getting the picture. Good. That's deliberate, Pfizer. You're adjusting your camera angle and your screen, okay? And it's possible to do that. The other thing that, and Yvonne, then you can cheat that camera and turn it so that we don't get that bright light on the side. Catherine, you have a little bit of a spot there, but at least it's being blocked by the books, okay? So that's one of the things that you can do to have a better on-camera presence, all right? You also want to wear clothes that are complementary to you and are not distracting from your background or from what it is that you are saying. So if whatever it is that you're saying has to do with it can complement what you're saying. And this has to do more with when you're presenting or you're performing. You all went performing and you're not presenting much, so I won't say anything about that. But I heard you asking on some of the other trainings that I've been listening to, how should I dress when I go on stage? And one of your teachers told you dress appropriately. So appropriate means what you wear should be in line with who you be, your vision for yourself, how you want people to see you. It should also complement the song that you're singing. Okay, bye. Somebody's leaving, and then I'm going to wrap it up because I know you all have to go. But it's very important that you are more deliberate about how you frame your set, whether you're coming out on a Zoom chat or you're performing on stage. On stage, you have to be more deliberate. Your costume should complement what you're singing about, and who you are by way of your personal brand, which you're going to be more deliberate about designing, okay? And if I may say to Ray, I don't know how your camera is. I like your background. I like, you know, the beams on your ceiling and stuff like that. I'm just wondering, for the moment of this video, are you able to cheat your camera so that we don't see the light? Is that possible?
At the moment, no, because I'm charging my phone and it's almost going off.
Okay. So for future, you cut out that back, and then you have that nice, the nice beams up there. It's very simple. And then you have to have a light shining on your face. So next time, face the actual door, the source of the lights, and then we can then still see the beams, and it will be okay. Does this make sense to you all?
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
Okay, super. Because if you can look at yourself, you can see only side of you, half of your face is in the dark and the other half is in the light. Okay, super. I think we wrap it up. I know we can go on from here to Kingdom Come, but before everybody leaves me talking to myself, let me release you all. It's been real. It's been nice. It's been real nice. And thank you for your participation. It's been great. Thank you.
All right, so you guys make sure you continue to engage Regina-Re now that she's available, as we've said and talked about this before. Thank you so much for coming. We're looking forward to you next Tuesday. Please do your assignments. Please keep engaging Regina. Keep asking her questions even before the class begins. She loves to do this. It's what she does, and she's very passionate about it. So yeah, we utilize her for all her things. Next time, Regina, we're going to be looking at you know, if they've made the corrections that you've said, and I'm going to give the first 3 people that aren't Christine and aren't Christine is the one that I've seen that uses your perfume. So anyone who remembers the branding and the titlage, the branding of the perfume, the name of the brand, and the tagline that they use, anybody who remembers, I'm going to give them 1 GB internet for the next session.
Good girl. Good girl is the name of the perfume.
You're supposed to inbox him, I think.
No, we'll find you on WhatsApp so that we can give. But the name and the tagline. All right, see you guys. Tuananeni.
Bye, y'all. Please.